Alright, Star Wars The Mandalorian and Grogu. I watched it recently, and for those who are curious, I'm changing up the way I'm going to be doing reviews again. I feel like this is the best of both worlds. I'm doing it with the information in front of me. I'm not making any, video that requires, videos and trailers, and I'm going to get copyright. Just, this is the best that I feel like I could do with the time that I have nowadays. So, for now, this is what I'm going to be doing. Star Wars The Mandalorian and Grogu. It kind of was only called The Mandalorian and Grogu, but it is a Star Wars movie, and we have not seen a Star Wars film in 7 years. And how was it? Well, I think it was just okay. I want to just start off by showing off here. We got 62 from the critics. Looks like they're not saying it's that bad, but it's just fine. This audience seems to really love it, though it's Star Wars, especially with Grogu. This guy was the cutesy baby, marketable plushie character before any of them, really. I feel like he was even more popular than Minions, but I don't know, I could be wrong there. Obviously, this movie's all over IMDb. Looks like it's getting a 7. So, here you go there. And according to Fandango... Oh, wait, these aren't even reviews. What am I doing here? Well, Fandango gave it an 88. So, yeah. Seems like Mandalorian just did a decent job. I personally just thought it was fine. We haven't really had a Star Wars movie in a long time, so it's really hard to compare this to the last 9th movie. I obviously think anything is better than that movie. This was slightly better, I feel like. This was a lot of, action. This had, a lot of heart. There was a lot of sweet moments. There was a lot of cool moments. There was a lot of fun moments, but I think my biggest issue with this movie is the fact that it's a movie. It definitely feels really long, and I said it earlier, but I feel like this shouldn't have been a movie. I feel like this should have just been a TV series, and that's kind of what I want to call this. This feels like The Mandalorian Season 4. Throughout the entire movie, nothing really just happens. Obviously there is a plot, written by Jon Favreau. Where did it just say? Yeah, Jon Favreau directed, co-wrote with Dave Filoni and Noah Clure, I believe it's pronounced. Obviously produced by Lucasfilm, Fairview Entertainment, and distributed by Walt Disney, obviously. Yeah, you don't need to know this, but yeah. Mandalorian, it kind of just feels like its own adventure. I feel like after you've watched Season 2 of The Mandalorian, which is when a lot of people stopped watching, you can kind of just watch this, because nothing really is that important. We obviously know Grogu, a.k.a. Baby Yoda, as people used to call him. Jesus Christ. He can use the Force. He's obviously getting stronger. He's getting more used to it, and he has a name. I can't remember. Yeah, Din. I'm just going to call him Pedro Pascal. Pedro still protects him. He still cares about him. So these two go on a little mini adventure where they're just recruiting up, these Empire criminals who are popping up here and there. And in the beginning of the movie, he turns in... Well, he kind of kills one of them. And this whole movie is the focus of a new guy he's hunting down. And that's half of the plot. And I don't want to say what happens in the second half, but we eventually go to this new planet where these twins of Jabba the Hutt's people. What are they? What are they like? I don't know what their names were, but for all the fans out there, maybe you might know these two people. We obviously have I forget his name. Rod of the Hutt. Yeah, that's right. He's in this movie. He's now an adult because he was in the first Clone Wars movie, so weird and interesting callback that they're doing here. All voiced by... oh, yeah, let's talk about that. So, yeah. Rada was voiced by Jeremy Allen White, the bear guy. We obviously have Pedro playing Pedro. Sigourney Weaver just kind of phoned this in. She was fine, honestly. It is what it is. We have Steve Blum making a surprise appearance, playing Zeb. I don't know if that's how you spell his name. I thought it had 2 B's. Martin Scorsese's in this movie. Yeah, just playing the random sandwich shop guy, which he didn't really add too much. He was just there and kind of left. Obviously, we have all these other actors here. Johnny, you got Brennan, Lateef. I don't know these people off the top of my head, but really, oh yeah, very short cast. So yeah, I think the acting between everyone was just whatever. It kind of wasn't anything interesting. Voice acting was pretty fine too. Jeremy did a good job with Rada. There was a decent amount of action, like I alluded to earlier. Also, like I think if you just wanting Star Wars, it's going to be a fine movie. It was pretty funny at times. The set pieces were pretty cool and interesting. The music was kind of weird. It didn't feel like a Star Wars movie, but it also wasn't bad. I know this is a weird thing to say, but like, Star Wars, the music that was in this movie kind of reminded me of a fan game or a small indie game, not a fan game, a small indie game called Of the Devil, where it has this like cyberpunk, almost like Blade Runner type music that's like futuristic, and they're blending in the leitmotif of the Mandalorian. They're like do 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 do. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Hopefully I don't get copyright struck there. But yeah, it seems like it was just a fun little adventure. The writing was just kind of its own thing, really. I mean, it was fine, but it kind of dragged on a lot. But again, that's why I say this is kind of like a TV series. We meet some pretty fun characters, though I was already talking about them, but nothing really sticks out. There was a lot of CGI in this movie. There was times where they had puppets with the Babu Freaks. I think they're Baku Freaks? Something. Yeah, Babu Freaks. I don't know too much about them. I don't know much about Star Wars, but these people, these guys, they were in here. They're hanging out with Grogu for a little bit, and that was a pretty fun time. Obviously, here's more pictures. I'm just showing more of the movie. Seems like it's just a fun little adventure. Like, look at this little guy, and look at this serious-looking dude. Yeah, I will say Star Wars has been doing fine with its, like, world building, but, like, I feel like there just hasn't been anything that's just interesting and, like, worth seeing. I really only think you would love this movie if this was, like, if you were a giant Star Wars fan. There just really wasn't that much as a full story in general. Like, the movie starts, and then it just ends, and nothing changes. There's a lot of other, like, cameo appearances from other characters, but they doesn't really matter that much. There's like another bounty hunter in this movie, which I don't know the name of, but he makes an appearance, and the movie makes it apparent like, oh, this is a big thing, but like nothing really happens there. But yeah, just a random little adventure. Din and Grogu gets into some shenanigans, and they gotta fight their way out. No Jedis, no lightsaber, so I always like that in Star Wars. We got some callbacks from, like, you know, I think they're AT-ATs, I don't really know, but we see some X-Wing action here and there. We get some space battles, some small ones. It's like we get a little bit of everything with the Star Wars movie, and I think that's fine. The movie right now seems like, yeah, opens to 167, as far as 2 days ago. Probably will get to 200, maybe 300. Though I will say that's not like a lot. I feel like this movie needs to be making a lot more money. Oh, yeah, this needs to make like what, 500? It needs to make like 500 million, maybe 450. Definitely needs to make a lot more than 167, because it can only go down from there. Worldwide, okay. So yeah, overall, Mandalorian is a fine movie. There's some weird issues where, like, it kind of just doesn't feel like a movie. There's nothing really impactful, no real character developments. Like, the pacing feels really slow at times, and I want to say boring at times. There's a lot of CGI in this movie also, so that kind of is a little annoying. But overall, it's just a whatever. It's fine. It's passable. I don't think it's as bad as what people are saying, because, like, I've seen a lot of people saying it's the worst movie ever, or the worst Star Wars. I don't really think it is. Like, I actually think the critics are really spot on, because I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It's fine. If you like Grogu and The Mandalorian, you're going to like this little adventure. I don't know if it's worth waiting this long for this movie. I don't really know what the future is for this, like, character, because, like, there's a lot of tropes in this movie where it's like, oh, yeah, sure, you're really going to do that to this character, and no one believes it. Like, literally, they try to, like, make a crazy change. Like, something happens to a certain character, and the audience is supposed to be like, oh, no, well, it's going to happen. It's like, no, that doesn't freaking happen, because it's Star Wars. No one really dies in Star Wars. But yeah, if you like Star Wars, I think you'll just enjoy it. I really hope this movie can get a lot more success. I want Star Wars to be one of the best movies ever because I think they're awesome. I love Star Wars a lot, so it's just a fine movie. I just have a lot of issues with it, and I think it could have done things differently to be a better movie. But anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know. It was Star Wars: The Mandalorian Grogu.